What's up, y'all? Whoever's in here. Cool. Just waiting for our co-host and for some more people to drop in here before we get started. He might just be a little bit late. Ask the same thing I always ask for the person in the bushes. How you doing today? Just give me a few minutes of y'all. Not coming, I'll jump off of here and go work out. Do that right. Yeah. Oh shit. I guess while we're waiting. I'll keep on reading to share this out to the people I'm supposed to. But outside of that, how's everyone doing? The people that's in here. This one, this one, this one. Good evening, World Jules. How you doing? Just waiting for one or two more people to drop in. And waiting on tonight's co-host as well. But how are y'all? Nice. You know, it's the wrong person again. Oops. I got too many devices on here. I don't even know what I'll be hearing half the time. I don't know if I'm seeing the right number. Oh, let me repost the link again. Sunny. Oh, she's still live on hers right now. Miss Jules, she's still live on hers. I don't even think she realized I went live yet. I think that's where half the people are at. Wait, you said Sunny, right? Yeah. Sorry, y'all, for me being quiet. I'm sharing this out to my everybody I have on Messenger while I'm waiting for more people to come in here and for our co-host. We'll get started without him if we need to, but oops, I didn't want to send it to that person. I had some guests over, so I didn't really see. I definitely would have been interested to see what she was talking about that or get in on that conversation. I figured I'll let everyone, talk about it, get out their system and stuff the first few days, and then since I had to switch up my schedule anyways, just came out. I'm talking about it today. I figured I'll kind of see and ask around what other people are talking about, so I'm not talking about the same things. Oh no, I don't know you. Oh, I do. I think she's back and forth. Almost done. I think I'm to the bottom of my list. Almost. Goodness, man. I keep saying I think I'm to the bottom of my list. I'm not. Mm, I would, but I've already told my co-host what time. I don't want to switch up the time for him. It's fine. Most of my viewers, people I served with and stuff, most of them watch watch it after. Most of them don't catch it live. Last person, fine. Goodness. All right. Now that I'm done sending that to everybody. Hello, Mimi. Is Granny in here? If I miss anybody while I was sending my stuff out, how y'all doing? I wish Granny was live earlier today, so I could have pointed out this live to her. need for them to come. Miss Jules, because this one I put in a little bit extra work into, a little bit. It's easier for me to get more in depth on my topics when I got feedback coming back and forth, people asking questions or arguing the point, whichever. I feel like it's too quick if I just go off. That's why I never just do videos. I feel like they'll be too short. My hair, why is that sticking up again? One of them for the co-host is my buddy Andre's dad should be joining us again tonight, Mr. Scorpio. I know he has a busy schedule. He might be asleep. Thank you. I just always get the same hair that likes to stick up in the back. I appreciate that. I even thought about putting my exact talking points in the description part, but I don't want to get into the not discussion. What's up, boss? I don't want to get into the discussion before I even start, so I never put them in the description anymore. Did I freeze? No. This is way back here. Speed this up a little bit. It never tells me the same number in the chat as it tells you guys. How many can y'all see in the chat? Is it 3 or is it 5 or more? Okay. Because yeah, sometimes it'll give me one number or say 0, and you guys are saying there's like 4 or 5 or 6 in there. I'm just waiting for that classic 5 to get started. And hopefully Mr. Scorpio, but like I said, I know he travels to my area on this day to do a class, so I get it that he's tired sometimes. I get it. Anything interesting for y'all? Anything not interesting? I'm just gloss on. I'm just waiting for like 2 more people to jump in the chat, and or Andre's dad to join me. But we're not going to wait the whole time for him because he generally has classes tonight. So I I know sometimes he might be tired. He like kind of travels to my area. But if he is here waiting, I just re-put the link. Okay. I think my problem is I sometimes start with the meat of what I want to say, and then most people start hopping in once I already get going and once I'm talking. No, let me make sure the volume's off. Okay. The volume is not off. There we go. Oops. If the Hill was here, I'll start singing for y'all. Only if D Hill's here while we're waiting, though. Let me do this. How did I do it last time? I don't know. I don't remember exactly what I did. Let me try this. This, go to channel, go back. No, that's not. What's up, Hassan? How you doing, man? I'm just waiting for a few people to jump in here before I get started. I think they're back and forth right now between myself and Sonny. Man, I don't know how to do this. What I keep missing? Oh. I thought the pinky was out. It's not. Maybe if I do it like this. There we go. It's a little better. Hassan, if you're still in here, was you at a WWE match the other night? Is that where you were? That's what it looked like. Resolution. All right, y'all. We're about 20 minutes into it. No one's here. I'm about to hop off. The one that I actually spent the day on. That's crazy. Even though, I kind of had to change these to Thursdays instead of Tuesdays. Oh, I got to get the link real quick. And probably turn off the notifications. Insta. Where the heck is anything? Yeah, what the heck? No, that's not it. pretty sure I pressed stories. Still just waiting for a few more people, or I'm gonna hop off. Either one. So I apologize if someone came in here ready to get down to the chat, into the discussion. Or no, I might go and might just read it off. It's just weird to me to read it off without back and forth engagement. Yeah, where did they get rid of the link symbol? There we go. Find the finger down. What the hell was that? That was nasty. Anyways. Some ugly pants. Okay, posted. Cool, cool, cool. Don't want them to miss the meat of what I was gonna say. So again, I'm trying to wait. I know y'all are waiting over here. I'm just waiting for some more on YouTube. No. No, because this only says open for. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just me or what, but like YouTube, you can go all day, hours at a time. But this one only, I feel like it's only like 40 minutes, and then it shuts off. But like I said, YouTube, there's people that goes for 24 hours, several hours, 48 hours. Mm-hmm. No, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, then hop off. I said that already. This one more time. For Scorpio. Either that or if Miss Royal Jules hops back in here, I'll probably just start because I know she likes to engage with the conversation. No, because no, what y'all looking at me from is my tablet. For some reason, it doesn't run good on YouTube, but I can't type. I don't know. It doesn't let me type to y'all. Again, either I set up something wrong or what. Doesn't let me type to y'all. I can't link it to StreamYards. Yeah. No, thanks. No, one back on YouTube. One of the moderators. Just waiting on. Okay. All right. Well, the lady that I said that likes to engage, she's back. So I'll go ahead and get started. I got it running on two different platforms. I'm guessing maybe Mr. Scorpio isn't going to make it tonight. I got to find a way to contact Granny Warm Blood outside of this, because I think she always sees my things later. But anyways, like my title was saying, I just kind of wanted to talk about and point out some of the things that a lot of the just me peeking in on different YouTubers and other podcasts and things like that. A lot of things that they're not really talking about. Excuse me, when it came to the Trump Zelensky meeting. Sorry, I'm trying to open this back up on my phone, so because a lot of the time the chat will stop moving on StreamYards, but and then on YouTube itself it'll be moving. There we go. But anyways, so really what I wanted to start with is, I don't remember my words exactly, so I'm gonna read my little side notes and then talk. Pretty much I was saying, can understand, or I don't know, we don't know what's on Zelensky's mind. Don't know where his thinking is, if it's personal, not personal, what he's taking serious, what he's not taking serious. Yes, but kind of like how we all felt during 9/11. So I'm not like blaming him for anything. Again, I don't know what's on the man's mind. But I wanted to say, or I wanted to start with pretty much, before we even get into it. And during that meeting, I don't think really too many people, if anyone, I heard some people on the internet have pointed out, but I haven't found anybody who pointed out. But if you're looking at, if you look at Zelensky's body language during that interview, and he did quite a bit of what I believe, what a few other people believe, like hand signals. Who knows what he's saying? He's not feeling it, whatever. Who knows? They said he was signaling to his advisors. I guess they were signaling to him behind the scenes, tell him to fix his attitude and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think none of us can know that for sure. Now I have so many of these up, so it's definitely not that. Let me look at it over here. Okay, so it's this one. Before I started, let me hop back to StreamYards and make that screen bigger. Big enough. So before I even get to even talking about it, let me be sure to look at both cameras, I guess. To get into it, I want y'all to really quick. I think you can see my mouse. Yeah, really quick. Look, just body language real quick. Look at how Trump's sitting. Look at how Vance is sitting. They're both all the way back, lean all the way back. Vance, comfortable, legs open, facing Zelensky. Trump in the middle, legs open, facing towards the middle. He's not leaning one way or the other, sitting all the way back. Zelensky is sitting on the edge of the seat. his legs is open, and as funny as it sounds, whatever, that's still a sign of when you're looking at body language and stuff like that. A lot of time, that's still a sign of where the person wants to be, where they want their attention at, where they want to go. Don't go if they want to be there, not be there. But again, you got Trump. He wants to be there. They're sitting all the way in his seat, sitting all the way back, legs open, knees pointed towards both of them. Vance, legs open towards Zelensky, so that means he wants to engage with him, sitting all the way back against the seat. Zelensky sitting on the edge of the seat, legs is open. Can't really say. I want to say they're not pointing towards Vance. Hands folded. That might be a comfortable thing, or that might be I'm already locked up. But the main thing is right here is on the seat where he's sitting. He already didn't want to be there to begin with. Even though I started this kind of in the middle because I wanted to show you guys some real basic signaling and stuff like that. But he was pretty much sitting like that the whole time. And we'll get into some of that in a second too. Okay, y'all just saying hello to each other real quick. Oops. Turn off the sound.
See what's going on. I think it's very important. That's why I
keep going so long. Did you guys catch that? Yeah, you can be like, yeah, he's just rubbing his face, whatever. But that's generally, he's looking directly at somebody. That's generally a basic hand signal. Who knows what he was signaling? Like I said, a lot of people said, I might have went for it by accident. A lot of people said that his handlers, his advisors, they whoever was there with them, they were saying things to him, signaling, like kind of saying, hey, straighten up a little bit. I don't know. That's just hearsay.
You see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on. I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long.
Again, could just be making a face at somebody he knows, like, whatever. This is weird. But other people like me, say he's communicating with somebody.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. You're people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want to see.
All right, I'm not gonna sit there all day. But that was just. It's like it's all throughout this, but I'm not gonna sit there and go through the whole whatever, however long this is thing of it. I can go back, replay it again if y'all want. It's up to you. But I wanted to know what was y'all's ideals, both platforms. What are y'all's thoughts on it? Do y'all see that? Do you guys think he was just rubbing his face, whatever? Do you guys feel like, he was comfortable? That's just how he was sitting. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm gonna play parts of it. No, I'm not gonna play the whole thing. And definitely, by all means, I know I say often, but I'm gonna say it again. By all means, don't feel like that you need to agree with me, hold back for my opinion, anything like that. But I'm just saying, though, as far as the body language, now I'm thinking about it, could y'all see the whole picture I could see? Now that I'm back in streaming, I was looking at the picture like, okay, the camera zoomed in some. Okay, cool. Let me move back real quick. Just.
Oh, tired of ads and games too.
Just to get to my point.
Check out Hero Wars.
It's one
of the best ad-free games out there right now.
Just basic body language. Again, it's like one of the telltale basic things. Again, is always how someone's sitting, how they're positioned. Let you know. It's kind of like a thing they say you're on a first date with somebody. You can subtly look underneath the table, see where their legs are, see how they're positioned. And if they're like knees together, pointed away from you, generally means they want to get out of there. They're ready to go. If they're open, pointed towards someone else, and say they keep on peeping at somebody across the restaurant, they're probably more interested in that person. If they're crossed, they're set back, comfortable, almost lazy, generally means that they want to be there. Royal Jules said, sorry, I'm still on the YouTube side, so I can't pin. I will pin what you said, but I'm just reading it for now. Royal just said, one can only imagine what he heard and how they were engaging him prior to the cameras coming on. They are extremely unprofessional and don't have a clue of what diplomacy is at any level. I got you. I disagree, but I got you. I feel like he already came there. Here we go. Oh wait, did you say more? No. It's just, it looks bigger on this. I feel like just because of prior to the meeting, I feel like he already had his mind made. And I was trying to find somebody directly saying it. I know Marco Rubio said it somewhere, but they're saying that they had already talked. They'd been talking well before the meeting. And all he had to do was come there and sign, and that he had already agreed to sign. And that I guess Vance had actually said to Trump, I don't think we should do this live. But they're saying as soon as he went live, he flipped the script. That's what they're saying. I wasn't there. You weren't there, Zelensky wasn't standing on business. Zelensky was wouldn't let his people suffer, in my opinion. It's like, to me, when you're in charge of a nation, yes, you still have your pride. You don't let nobody punk you, but at the same time, you can't afford to take things personal. I don't know if you guys can see me when I click this camera. Not talking to YouTube. For a second, when I click this camera like this, but I need to look at my notes real quick. So pretty much my other notes, the second part of what I was talking about is there were talks and agreements made before Zelensky even came to the U.S. Verbal agreements, and so they had talked about it, email, fax stuff, all that stuff. He also didn't need to come to the U.S. for this, but that's the formal thing to do. He took the opportunity and or advantage of the cameras to flip the script and try to pressure the president and vice president into agreeing to what he wanted them to say, and it backfired bad. And yes, I personally feel it's the previous administration's fault, partly that he feels it should be a one-way street, that he could act like a spoiled child. But how many of us paid attention to Zelensky even had a private meeting with the other side of the aisle, the Democratic leaders, which he wasn't supposed to do, had a private meeting with them before, on the same day that he had met with Trump and Vance, which he wasn't supposed to do. With everything that has happened so far, do you regret your vote? No, I don't. No, because things are happening that I voted on. I wanted them to stop taking our tax money and doing what they want with it. There ain't no reason the people that get paid $200,000, $100,000 a year come into office and automatically within 2 years they're millionaires. No, I don't like that stuff. And before I get to talking about what I had just read that I wrote, let me get to Royal Jules. He agreed to sign what we're definitely going to get to that part, Ms. Royal. He agreed to sign the security being part of the deal to prevent Putin from violating and disregarding war law, and more importantly, ceasefire once and for all. Once this country was invaded. Yeah, but remember, only our allies China, Russia, all of them, when we're coming to the Geneva Convention and rules and stuff like that, they don't play by those rules. Now, they'll come and cry about them if we violate them, but they don't have to play by those rules. And, again, my personal opinion is, and by no means saying this is in defense of Putin, when it comes to life or death, I don't feel like there should be rules. Yeah, it is crazy. You shouldn't. I think it's too much to use chemical and biological warfare on the battlefield. But at the same time, when it comes to life and death, there's no rules. But that's kind of off subject. Yes, with security agreements, and there's I was thinking about it today when I was sending. I need to turn that off. When I was sending a email. Well, the other day when I was sending an email back to work, I was like, wow. I mean, the deal that's already there that he was supposed to sign, that he agreed to, those security agreements are there, and we will definitely get to that. Well, I guess I can skip around. I don't need to go by my own script. I'm the one that wrote it. So what I feel like there's a lot of people that knows, but I think there's more people that don't, this ain't their everyday thing. They don't know these things. Mineral deal, that is in itself the security agreement. If, say, to break it down to you, to say if we already had oil refineries or whatever, we had oil refineries that work directly with the government, any business that worked directly with the government already there, they would have to figure out a way to invade around it and somehow not interrupt its work. Russia would not attack them if we had if we already had those deals there. For whatever reason, we didn't, and they had years. Even I won't even say like a lot of people say, well, how come all this stuff wasn't done and said 3 years ago? I won't even say that. We had before 3 years ago. We've had a long time, to do that since, what was it, 1994, I think, to do that. We didn't do that. We didn't look at them as that much of an asset, really. But what a lot of us aren't thinking about is that mineral deal is the security agreement in itself. American assets, if they get attacked, they get disrupted overseas. What do? We usually smash those people, just like in the Middle East. They kidnap a tourist group. They generally throw the Americans out. They might drop them off in the middle of the desert somewhere, throw them out, but they're not taking them. They're going to take the Europeans. Why? Because the UK, they'll drop the money real quick. Germany, they'll drop the money real quick. France, they'll drop the money real quick. Us, no, we're sending people through your windows at night with night vision goggles on. So they generally they try not to even take American hostages in places like Middle East and stuff like that. That's how that stuff works. It would be almost like not on the same level, but almost like if they were attacking a embassy. That's the part I don't understand why they don't too much point that out when they talk on the interviews. But that's what comes with us doing business in other countries. That's literally a state asset. Like, say it was McDonald's, I don't know, maybe. If it was Walmart, probably not, because they got a little bit closer ties to the government. But again, if it was a oil refinery, all minerals, whether it's privately owned or not, works directly with the government. That would be considered a state asset. You invade that country, you invade that area, you're essentially attacking some of our property. And that's a big part of what, I'm not going to say a lot of people aren't paying attention to. I believe that's a big part of what a lot of people maybe don't know, because again, nobody has to be all into that stuff and know all that. I don't know everything. That's for sure. I'm going to read the next part, and then if y'all want to get into what we were just talking about some more, that's fine. Just throw it up there. If they, well, it was a part of what I was saying before, but since I stopped and kind of skipped around, connected to the other part of what I was saying, I wrote, if they agree and said what he wanted, then where would that leave room for negotiations with Russia? It's like we can call Putin an evil, murderous dictator, whatever. Then expect him to come sit down at the table for talks. Why would they do that? It's like, again, like I said, I get it. Zelensky can be feeling all the more personal about this, be upset, you take it personal, whatever. But at the same time, you as the middleman, almost like a marriage counselor, you're supposed to be a mutual party. I'm so sorry, y'all. 1 second, because it sounds like I heard a drill like twice. I thought she was messing with power tools. I was hearing her phone. Anyways, sorry about that, y'all. I was trying to ignore it, but I was like, no, she can't be up to messing with tools. Like, where she even get a drill something from? Anyways, I was saying, so it's like if he would have, if they would have said what Zelensky wanted them to say, pretty much, say like, yeah, he's bad, he's evil, blah 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 blah. Again, how would we get him to the negotiating table? That's like us breaking up a fight and be like, hey, can just both of y'all calm down for a second so we can talk? That's how it'd be. That Zelensky asked for security from the U.S. because Putin has constantly violated the rules of law in an effort to, I think, maybe eradicate those people and take over Ukraine. He's pleading for his people's lives. Correct, but that's what the mineral deal is. That's what the deal is. That's giving us. That's justifying the reason. Because don't forget, just a few years ago, most of the country on both sides was saying, "Hey, stop sending them so much money." Our stuff is going up, is going crazy. That would justify us giving them anywhere close to that much money. The mineral deal, that's technically a U.S. asset. Hold on, make me bigger. That's a U.S. asset. Us having facilities, buildings and stuff like that over there. That is security. It's like, and they know that. A lot of people that's like as you say, in that part of the government that does those deals, you can even say down to the construction companies. They all know that. So Zelensky knows that too. But I don't know if he wanted them to say that certain part, whatever, something separate. And again, even before Biden, a lot of those weapons and stuff, when they said stop sending us blankets, I think they said that to Biden too. But maybe, I don't know. But before a lot of that stuff, we had sent him a bunch of ammo and weapons. And again, it's like Russia, they don't want that problem. We see now. They don't want that problem. They keep on telling us it's not fair that you guys are involved. If you do this, if you do that, it'll be considered trying to incite World War III, blah, 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 blah. They don't want those problems. They're not going to attack Ukraine if we have state assets in Ukraine. You know what I mean? Like that's what comes with those type of things. Like well, pretty much anywhere, where there's embassies, somebody gets into war, conflict, stuff like that. Generally, the embassy gets destroyed, it's generally not by another country. It's generally by a terrorist group, something like that. But at the same time, they're like, hey, you know, we're about to get in war. You guys might want to clear out your embassy. A lot of times they do, just to keep their people safe. But it would be essentially if Russia attacked our embassy. Excuse me, that's the same as attacking us. And again, I don't understand why they're not really pointing that out to people. I mean, you know, I guess it doesn't necessarily mean that they hear the same things that, you know, people like you and I talk about. I don't know, but I'm just wondering why. Before I finish reading this next part, I was told I have a home nurse or home aide or something like that. I need to ask my aide for something. Girl, can you come here real quick? I need to be lazy. Can you come here? Can you bring me can you bring me a soda, please? And thank you. And water, please. Noted. However, Trump seemed to not want to confirm from that to Zelensky while he's sitting right there in the Oval Office. I'm not sure what you mean, Jules, because I mean, to me, what I saw is he's like, hey, you know, you got to chill out and sign this. We talked about this, and then you know, it's like they were even saying, I keep on wanting to say his handlers, not his handlers, Zelensky's advisors. They were like, hey, you know, we had all agreed on this. I think even what's the dude's name? Marco Rubio was talking about how long they sat down and they were talking, a Coke, little baby, or home health aide nurse. Talking about, you know, how many times that different people from our government, the other one. Do we have no, we don't have one. Thank you. How many people from our government and people had talked to their peoples? And actually, now that I think about it, that's actually one of the clips I got. Thank you. I'm just going by what I was told about myself. I was told I have a aide, so let me utilize my aide, I guess. And let me pull this clip up for y'all. 1 sec. I know you guys can't see it over there on that platform, but I will repost this on that platform. I'm just kind of testing out today, just figuring out ways so I can stream on both platforms at the same time, but I just can't figure out how to get StreamYards onto that. No. I don't know what okay, so I guess I don't have that clip. Conscription. Okay, so before we get to that, we'll do this one. Anyways, let me jump back over to StreamYards real quick. Yeah, I don't know. What did I do? Sorry, I thought I clicked one thing and I didn't. Okay, so it's this. So I'm just saying what I feel from just the different things I was looking at and stuff like that. I feel like Zelensky put on a show for the camera. I think that everybody had already discussed what it was, what they were going to do. And, you know, like Vance had said on something else, he was like, all he literally had to do, you know, to even come to America, that's just for formalities. All he had to do was sign the deal, and we would have been good. Everything would have been good. Russia might have possibly tried to speed things up, or they might have pressed. I mean, they can't right now, or they you know, I think the goal was to pressure them to come to the table and talk, because you know, like I keep on saying, what's the end goal? You know, like a few weeks ago, Zelensky was like, no, I don't want to sign no peace deals, blah 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 blah. and I get it, just a verbal one way, and if Russia's going to break it, I don't think there was this type of deal in place before. I think it was peace deals between them. It was deals between them, but I don't think there was a middleman in the past. So I get that, but at the same time, if you're like, well, you should just keep on giving us money. One, that's our money, that's my money, that's your money, but whatever. You should just keep on giving us money to fight this, and give us money and weapons. What's the end goal? When I don't understand how some people don't. And I'm not saying you guys. I'm not saying you guys. Not saying anyone on either one of these platforms. Just people. Period. Online things like that. When they're like, well, what did Trump mean? You have no cards. He means like, what you can do? You don't have the forces. It's not going to be a scenario where you march onto Russia's capital and force them to stop, like World War II. It's not going to be a thing where we just come down just because and fight the fight for you, with you at the forefront waving your banner. It's not going to be like that. So what's the end goal without a peace deal? Because without them directly attacking us, once again, by the rules that we play by and other countries don't play by, we're not supposed to. We can't just engage them unless they go to war with one of our NATO allies or something like that. But and then again, with the mineral deals, that's putting technically, again, not directly, but technically state assets in their country. That's how those things work. You attack them, you're attacking our company that provides directly for the state. So therefore, we got a problem with that. Trump will not confirm. Did I read that? No. Trump will not confirm security. He kept trying to get Zelensky to agree, allowing U.S. to get the raw mineral, not explaining it's part of the security. Why didn't he? Because it's not. No, it is. That's how that stuff works. It is a part of it. Oh, sorry. I have to re-put the thing. That's what comes with it. That's the try that link right there. All right, so I'm calling. Today. So Mr. Scorpio today is Major Mel or Sir Major, Mr. Mustang, whichever you would like us to call him. But that's what comes with that. Just like in Dubai, stuff of we've set up so much commercial and so much government business in Dubai, I believe. People attack them. That's technically attacking us. I mean, we're pretty much the ones that loan them a lot of the money to become who they are. Because Zelensky knows this stuff. We don't. He does. Or like the average us every day. Excuse me 1 second, Ms. Jules. Mr. Mel, if that's not working for you, text me. If that link that I just posted isn't working for you, just text me. But Ms. Jules, it's like they know those things. Okay, so I'm thinking about retirement. I'll have to get onto that later. They know those things, it's like they know that's how that comes. Like we've had biolabs there, but again, those weren't. I say, like those biolabs is kind of like they didn't want the public to know about it. We couldn't put public claim on it because they were doing stuff there that we could never do here. You know what I mean? But why did Trump need to say extra stuff? Why was Zelensky playing like he didn't know? Because I believe, this is my personal belief, with the meeting he had with the Democrats before that, which he wasn't supposed to have in the first place, they told him to be like that. Again, like I said, if you look at his body language, he didn't want to be there from the get-go, He did not want to be there because he knew it wasn't going to be, again, this is from my opinion, he knew it wasn't going to be what it's been for the past few years. just us saying yes. And I won't even go into the different reasons why I believe we're just giving them the money, even though once again, there was definitely several times towards the end where a majority of the country is like, hey, stop sending them so much money. We don't want you guys sending them that much money, or we don't want to send them that much money. And we did anyways. I think wasn't there a time when it was like voted against in something and they sent it anyways? But I'm just saying, like, why did they even have to play that game? And technically, you even say on both sides, why did both sides have to play that game? Yeah, they could have called him out on camera. They can be like, hey, that this mineral deal, any deal like this, any state asset automatically comes with security benefits. You know that. That's just how it works. And not acting like he didn't know that. How you doing, Mr. Mel? How would you like us to refer to you tonight? Because okay, you got on Scorpion tonight. So sorry about that. How you doing? How you doing, Mr. Scorpion?
I'm just stinging away.
Gotcha.
I was kind of hearing some of your dialogue about Mr. Zelensky, and very interesting discussion. So, what are your viewers thinking about the interface?
Pretty much saying, asking how come Trump wouldn't just say to him, or wouldn't guarantee him security with it, or if the mineral deal comes with security, how come Trump wouldn't just say that on TV? And then me, at first I was saying, well, because Zelensky knows that, but now I'm saying, well, I think both sides was playing games because Zelensky knows that, and yes, Trump could have just said that. Zelensky didn't have to play dumb about it, and Trump didn't have to, I don't know, being stubborn, whatever.
Well,
and everyone's saying hello to you.
Oh, hello, everyone. What I got from was a discussion that earlier, whether it be the day before, that he had met with some Democrats who I think gave him the idea that he would be challenging the president to kind of put him on his back feet and then kind of embarrass him by, going, hey, well, you're not giving me enough. And the thought for me when I saw it was that there are, I'll use this analogy. I'll use this example. There are ladies who prefer men who talk sweet, and there are some ladies who prefer not to have a man who's very coarse. But if you have a man who talks sweet but can't do anything, opposed to the man who's coarse who can get things done, which would you prefer? Mm-hmm. Now, that kind of, most would say, well, I'd like the guy who talks really sweet, but he doesn't do anything. Well, that's Joe Biden. So you have Joe Biden and you have Trump. And my approach would be, I would rather have a person who's a little bit more bombastic, but protects my interests, as opposed to someone who's trying to make friends and then compromises our interest.
Okay.
My mother had this old saying, is that if you're having to give money to make friends, you better never run out of money. And I think when he was just thinking that he was just going to get more money, that he could say whatever he wanted to say, it kind of left him in a situation not understanding that the room had changed.
Okay, right. I don't know. Again, I would like me. I felt the opposite. The new ladies did. I was like, good, because again, to me, my opinion is he's been getting told yes unrestrictedly for the longest time. Mm-hmm. They've been giving, even when the country said stop giving him so much. Excuse me. They've just been given, and then now he's told, no, we're not just going to give it to you. We need to have a justified reason to. And again, like I was saying, that comes with security. Any mineral mining, any natural gas mining we're doing in another country is directly state. It might be ran by whatever Exxon, but that is considered anything mineral, anything energy is considered a state asset. Like a lot of people don't realize. And I think, it's okay to say this. A lot of people don't realize that the energy companies is highly tied into the intelligence community.
Well, and when you look at the overall approach, now could Trump be okay? One, it's this at a scorpion. A scorpion shows this tendency. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard the story of the snake. My mother told me a story of the snake, which told me about people, and that really you know what they are when you meet them. Well, there was this woman coming home. It was Christmas Eve, and she looked down in the gutter, and there was this beautiful snake. There was snow everywhere. She picked up the snake. It was a poisonous snake, but the snake was so cold it allowed her to pick it up and took it home. And she rubbed the snake. She fed the snake. The snake was feeling good. Right around New Year's, she walked past and the snake bit her. And she said, "Mr. Snake, you bit me. I can't let you out. I'm going to die here. It means you're going to die." And the snake looked at her and said, "You knew I was a snake when you brought me in." Well, Zelensky is a teenager. He's kind of a snake. And so what I mean by that is that he got used to a certain way of doing business that when he was told no, like you see with a teenager, what does a teenager do after he or she's been told yes for a year, but now for one time you tell them no, they're going to not act grateful. They're going to demanding to hear a yes when things have changed, whether mom and dad lost a job or whether they just no longer wanted to go ahead and cater to that behavior. So here he is now putting the most powerful person on the planet, in a position where I'm embarrassing you so you can give me what I want. It's like when a kid asks you, "Hey, hey, Dad, can I stay at my friend's house in front of the friend?"
Right.
You're gonna go, "Well, no, we don't do that anymore. If you want to ask me, you come alongside because there may be something I may not want that person here. I may not like that person. I may not think that person. So don't do it in public where now I got to say no and then tell them in front of them why, when we could have had that conversation between me and you." Well, he did that. He said, "You know what? I'm going to lift my dress up in public." and he had done that before, and now he's dealing with someone who says, "I don't want to see what's under your dress. I told you I don't want to. You can't embarrass me into giving you." This is Donald Trump. He's a New Yorker. He grew up in New York. He's a New Yorker. He deals deals, and so he's not going to play that. And so I wish he would have stopped. I mean, he could have been a little bit more diplomatic and said, "Hey, I think this ends our conversation," but that's not Donald Trump. You know what Donald Trump is when he walked in the door. You knew it's not like Donald Trump is going to come off and be, a choir boy when that's not his nature.
Right. If you don't mind, really quick, unless you're going to add to that,
No.
I was going to play. Oh, I already have the clip up there. Play this clip right quick.
Do it. This is your show.
No.
Chris Murphy literally tweeted ahead of the meeting. Just finished a meeting with President Zelensky here in Washington. He confirmed that the Ukrainian people will not support a fake peace agreement where Putin gets everything he wants and there are no security arrangements for Ukraine. Yeah, clearly we understand exactly what happened. They met with Zelensky and they created this whole premise.
I wanted to put that because that was a part of what I was talking about. Like, this dude, he didn't even say, I guess, again, for formalities and stuff, he wasn't supposed to do that. That was the wrong thing to do. He wasn't supposed to meet with anybody before he met with the president or vice president.
Well, and I understand his anger. He's been dealing with the Russians on and off for probably about 8 years. And
1 second in the service. Sorry, I was just telling the lady in the back chat. 1 second. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just
No.
Where she's at now, she won't be able to see if I typed it, so I was just saying it real quick so she can hear me.
Well, and what has placed them in a situation when you're angry, it's kind of hard to negotiate with someone who's hurt and angry. All they want to go, "Well, hey, I need you to help me, deal with this." And it's like, well, one, we're not in Ukraine. We're not on the continent of Europe. Your compadres, your fellow Europeans are giving you the short end. We're giving you the long end of the stick. And he wants people to make him whole. Well, when you lose a war, there are consequences to these things. And like if elections have consequences, losing a war has consequences. Ask the Germans, ask the Japanese, ask the Italians, ask all these people who end up losing wars. Even, you look at the Middle East, when you lose a war, people take land and property because you can't defend it. And that's just the nature of it. And so, he wants to pay back the Russians, but if you need someone else, if you have to use someone else besides what you have to do it, and they don't want to play, well, guess what? Not only are you going to lose more so to the Russians, you're going to lose friends.
Right, right. And and I can admit, I have my personal bias. Mimi knows this. I've said it to her 3 or 4 times. Ever since the day a few years ago when I heard him say, America must send their sons and daughters to come support us, fight for us, die for us. I never liked them because I was like, to me, that's like, of course, you should be concerned about your people first and foremost. But these are my people. This is my country. Like no, you don't tell us what we must do, who we must send, our sons and daughters. Like, no, get out of here. So I can already admit I already have a personal bias, and I try not to have it when I'm having discussions and things like that. But I'm just saying, there's so we saw. I feel like we saw the juicy part with most things. Us being here, unless we're directly involved in it or know someone that is personally that told us some inside info, we're never going to know everything, the ins and outs. But it's like, again, the longer I sat on it, looked into it, seen what people were talking about, they're like, hey, everybody was cool until those cameras turned on. Excuse me.
Well, and that's what one must always consider. It's to start, the state of negotiations. He thought he had a leverage point in the middle of a negotiation and thought he'd bring it forward to get what he wanted out of the negotiation discussion. That understanding, you're not dealing with, and even Joe Biden had issue with him. So now you're dealing with someone who's a little bit more assertive, someone who can work a deal, but is not going to be taken advantage of in the deal. And like you said, what benefit is it to us to go and fight and possibly die, for Ukraine? Not the Ukrainian people shouldn't be free. I'm not saying that, but at what point are we gave them treasure? Why should we also give them blood? Now the thing is, did they wanted to join NATO because they felt vulnerable? Um, the thing is that they were already seemed to be showing corrupt nature under Biden when when Hunter went over there and was negotiating with them and got these millions of dollars.
Charisma.
So there was
Am I
already
on the
a
show?
an element of corruption that was existing.
Say that one more
Am I
time.
up here? Am I up
Yes.
here or no?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me make one point clear. We've got to go back to why Trump is sitting on Putin's lap. It's about real estate. We have to also look at the fact that America doesn't own America. You got the Chinese that got a portion of this. We done borrowed and sold globally. So you've got a universal problem here. It's not just one person versus the other, but let's really critically examine why did they, all right, well, I could do a comparative, but I'm not going to do that. Why did they put this in front of your face between Trump and Zelensky in the first place? This could have easily been said and they could have exchanged their brouhahas behind the scenes. Now, we can count on Trump because we've seen Trump 4 years when he was president in the beginning. He's an idiot. And Trump only knows what he did with his show. When you talk to Trump about you're hired, you're fired, and he wants to play the boss and he's really alert in that genre, then he gets to talking. But is Trump politically literate? No, you talking about a man that took his money and burned it in the fireplace just to make fire. So we don't have a good representative. Trump is the puppet Your masters are behind Trump, the Zuckerbergs. Again, like I said, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, Buffett, all these people are behind him that have this big money. Elon Musk. That's why Musk is in control of Gorge, but they say he's not in control, but yet he's still controlling and firing everybody. Now, I'm not choosing a party. I'm not Democrat and I'm not Republican. I'm for who has an agenda that moves the country or moves our society forward. Period. I don't care what they are.
Well,
But this is not what this is. Let me finish. This is the deep fabrication of your democracy that is moving to an autocratic or to authoritative democracy now. It's going to be something different. We are watching a change before us. And by the time this is over, we will have evolved to something. What? I don't know. But it's dangerous politics nonetheless.
well,
It's dangerous politics.
I think you're at least from my perspective, as someone who looks at statecraft and national security, is that ever since the founding of the country, the rich have been running it. There were not poor men who took up arms during the Revolutionary War. They were part of the British aristocracy. They were in charge of land granted by the king, and they decided that they would rather control the economy and the means of production than allow someone across the shore to do it. Now,
I totally agree. And it's been before that. It
hold
was
on.
with Cleopatra and all of them. They've been doing this for years.
Let me go
Go
ahead and have the
ahead.
floor. Let me have the floor like you had the floor. But Cleopatra was a Greek.
I didn't have it as long as you did.
Well, Cleopatra was a Greek. And so let's start looking at what is happening here. I vote according to my wallet. If I'm poor, I will probably side with the Democrats. If I have a little bit more middle class, I'm probably going to side with the Republican because I'd rather keep my money and invest it as I see fit. Is there a change happening in the country? It's always been, this country is a very uniquely crafted country. And the question is whether, I don't know if I would maybe necessarily put forward that a billionaire is an idiot, unless you're a billionaire or you got more money than the billionaire idiot.
Well, I think I stand on my own laurels and foundation in the fact that I came up with Valerie Jarrett and Obama. So see, I'm in Chicago, so we deep in politics here. Politics is our game. This is what we sit around, and we're activists. So I'm not on this air just talking airball politics. I'm talking what my centrals filter down through the chain. Okay, so
And
to
I think
speak.
we all have, and I think we may be in the
So
same age group. And the thing is that both of us have probably, as I was on the West Coast during the divestment protests back in the 80s and some other things, and dealt with some of the things in the part of the first forcibly integrated people on the West Coast. So yes, and
but
as
see,
we all track back to our
intellect doesn't
parents.
know a dollar. Intellect is the usage of your mind, and it is the thinking of which way you're going to go, one way or the other. It's not attached to a dollar sign.
Oh, it
Now
is.
you got people that think that because see, there's people that these people think that they can control the world. They cannot ever control this because they didn't create it.
Oh,
So
I'll give you that.
therefore,
The world is,
it will seek its own destruction at some
and
point.
but you also have to concede that one of the most powerful, I say, theorists or philosophers was Karl Marx, the Communist Manifesto, who was a doctorate, but he was poor. So he wrote a manuscript, again, the Communist Manifesto, which would entitle him to some of the wealth of those who accumulated it. Now, whether they accumulated it rightly, wrongly, they had the wealth. Whether those people who got it off of the backs of slaves in the different parts of the Americas, or extraction of wealth from the African continent or the Far East, the Near East, issue becomes, okay, at what point do we sit back and go, how do we, outside of calling the man an idiot, the thing is, even the idiot can be useful. So the question is, how can we then have our leadership to a point where they can then feed us?
I'm saying that his thinking is idiotic.
So
his
where do
thinking.
you, what's your basis
I'm
of
dealing from
him?
the mind perspective. Like you
But
said, your point of view, I'm dealing it from a mind perspective that the thinking at this particular point is idiotic.
and so why
It's
would you
back to
claim that?
front.
Why? I mean, because if you're right, I would love to be educated. If you're saying just because it's your opinion, well, we all have
Well, I'm
opinions,
not
but
trying, I'm not, all of everything that we have is nothing but a perspective point of view. I can
okay.
look at the sky and see purple, and you'll say it's blue, and I still say it's purple, but it's still my view versus your view. So as long as we respect each other's views, I'm not here to banter. There's things I can learn from you and what you're saying, and I will
Exactly.
agree with on this live, and there's probably some things that I may not agree with, but I'm not here to
But where
banter
but
the
where
point. I just think
but
we're in
where
some
did you
real
get
bad times.
but where did you get the concept that he's idiotic? I mean, because if you're right, I'd love to hear something going,
His
hey, he in
thinking.
fact he is.
I got that concept from the 4 years I watched the demonstration of his thinking.
And so what was the capstone of your looking at him that made you be able to say yes, he's an idiot?
Well, I don't particularly back a man that crouch grabs and does a lot of other stuff and then thinks he can get away with it.
Well, that's
So
most men.
therefore, so,
There's
I'm
even
sorry.
preachers do that.
You talking to a woman that's in the National Organization of Women. I'm 69 years old. I've been around. I ain't no featherweight. I am not
We've
a
all
featherweight.
we've all been around here a minute,
Okay, so I'm gonna
you know.
let you know. I'm gonna let you know that it still does not excuse the fact as far as me as a woman. Now, if that's most men and that's how most men want to think, and there are men that are gentlemen.
Oh, most of them
Warlord,
are, but they
Warlord is
also
a gentleman.
but
He's a
most
gentleman.
as you put forward is that most men have that tendency, but some can control themselves, some can't. I mean, look at Joe Biden sniffing people's hair, sniffing people's hair and getting a little too close to people, or Bill Clinton with Monica Lewinsky and all these other folks. So it's not just restricted to Donald Trump, but the issue
And
becomes,
exactly,
but where's the idiotic
exactly.
at? Besides being a man who has maybe at
The
times
thing
low
I'm gonna say
character.
it again. If I call you an idiot, I don't know even your first name. I don't have that right. I do have the right to give you mutual respect. Because, see, I believe it starts with respect. But if you say something and you say the cat had purple stripes, I can say to you that's idiotic thinking, which means that it does not compute. Or what is the cardinal line they're using this year? Make it make sense. I'm saying that there are elements of this in all of our perspectives that just don't add up and make sense as far as what's going around globally and how this shift is. It makes us feel slightly uncomfortable. It makes us have to look seconds and over at our portfolios. We have to make sure. Now, I was taught one way as far as politics. My mother taught me this. She said, watch how they play so I will know how to posture and protect my family. I adopted that in practice, and it actually works because I at least have a fighting chance that I did put my best foot forward to protect my family until they just come in here and just eminent domain and take everything that I built upon. I know that they can do that too. So I look at it from that perspective. I just think one thing, brother, and I'm just going to say this. I think we're headed for some real twisted stuff and information. I'm glad to see that Warlord has a platform and he's watching this, and that's what we're all doing is watching this. I mean, I'm still wrapping my head around Angie Stone and how 9 people survived an accident and she didn't. That's deep to me. Okay? It's real deep. At least something unanswered. But sometimes I think that some things are just beyond our explanation, and we just have to wait and see how it manifests, like you said. I do agree with you on that. And
Well,
we'll
I
know.
well I think that President Trump, um, I think that he's only 45 to maybe 50 days deep into this new 4-year period of his leadership. Um, I still see a lot of positive. I see the border issues. Somebody mentioned the January 6th, which I've studied in and out. Um, I don't see a lot of what was claimed that he did. He was not really involved in, But the issue becomes now with another 3 years and 10 months left of his administration, what can we get out of it as a people? One that now, because an open border didn't do anything for people of color or poor majority population people. Open borders with people who have no right to work doesn't do anything to put stress on people who are already poor. So that didn't do anything
Yes,
for us.
I agree with that. It created a big global problem on all borders. Okay. So I don't have to be Democrat or Republican. Actually, I'm a liberal. I would have voted for Bernie Sanders. Okay.
Well, I think if
So
the Democrat Party had left him alone, he would have beat Hillary, and he probably would have won.
what is your name? I'd like to address you properly. What is your name, sir?
Oh, you can call me Scorpion.
Okay, Scorpion. I feel like this. When the Democrats put Kamala Harris up there to run for president, that was the dumbest, stupidest mistake they could have made. Because see, if you're really, like you said, let's go back and come back forward. If Hillary didn't make it, Kamala was a long shot. All right. What gets me about the Democratic Party, when they should be strong, they always fall weak. Okay. So this is why I don't choose a side. I look at it and I try to see the clarity in it. And I feel, I look at how does it impact how I live, my money, my bottom line figure. And then I watch and hope for the best. For Trump, I think I see him a little bit more weathered. When he was the president the first time, he's a little anxious and things got a little twisted. But he seems like he's weathering some now. So I hope for the best that comes out of this. I don't care what party they declare. I hope for the sake of our country and for our living as a society that something comes out of this that moves us forward. I'm not going to say we're getting ready to go through damnation because, see, none of us know that.
This is true.
None of us know that. So let's look at it from one perspective, that we hope that these people make the right decisions or make the best decisions they can with the right choices with what they got to work with. Are we in what you call, I don't say bad words, but are we in the shish can? Oh, most definitely. So we got to crawl out of this hole. We've been in it too long.
I think with Trump's first administration, he trusted the wrong people. The Democrats were against him. The Republican establishment was against him. The establishment was against him. And so all these things that happened was just basically a pushback to stop him from doing what he's doing now. So now he brought in his crew. These people are loyal to the soil for him. And so and now they're loyal to the soil that we're sitting upon to protect us from what has been an open door policy. We'll look at China. Historically, everyone knew that China was not someone to trust, but we had globalists who saw that economic gain by using the cheap labor of China and then brought all production over to China. So now China has an economy that's at $17.4 trillion.
Exactly.
We're at $24 trillion.
New world order.
Well,
Exactly.
but we fed the animal. We fed it because of our greed.
We sure did. 10 cents on the dollar, and they still ended up becoming the new world order. Say it again. You're absolutely right.
Well, because communism doesn't value the individual. Even socialism doesn't value the individual. This is about as close as you can get where you and I, or any American, regardless of ethnicity, background, or perspective, is a value to the nation. And so now the question is, how do we get the nation to make sure that we get fit for? How can you give illegal immigrants billions of dollars to stay in hotels and you still have historically oppressed people who are still for generations have been impoverished and remain that way?
I think it goes a little further than that, Scorpion. I think it's this. How do we get the people, irregardless of declaring a party, to think in a collaborative effort to move society forward on a better economic base? That's what I see, or that's what I hope to see. I think that once we do that and just strip away, I'm Republican, I'm Democrat, strip away that concept of thought and just say, This is what we come to the table with, and this is what you will come to the table with. This is what I come to the table with. Now let's barter, because that's what Trump said basically in front of Zelensky. Do you think that you can do this and you can do that? And I don't. America's always helped other countries, but too much money was given to them while we were still suffering here,
Right.
and that rubbed me the wrong way. Now I'm gonna give you 60 billion when I know there's only 300 million people in America, 360. You give everybody. Now let me tell you my concept, and you're gonna say you rightfully agree. It doesn't matter if I'm Republican, if you're Republican, or I'm Democrat. I felt that each person should have gotten $1 million. You, me, everybody. We sign a contract and it says we'll invest in stocks or homes or something. And that we said that we would do this with this money. And if we don't, we default on it, then they can charge us. Or we got to give that money back. Every American would have been living a lot better. You see? So 360 million is it's chump change compared to what we gave up and military and everything else to Ukraine. We can't hold that country and help that country that much for that country to still be strongest in existence, because it's going to weather our money down. Going forward, we're going to all be broke. And that's the truth.
Before I jump in there, you had something on. You look like Warlord. You look like you got something ready to go on it.
Well, I was just saying, that's where the mineral deal is supposed to come in. It's supposed to justify us why we're giving that money, and also to take some of our reliance off of China. Because right now, majority of our basic minerals, even though we got them here, just because of past trade deals and stuff like that, we have to get them from China and other countries first. That's going to take a lot of our reliance of China off, because we saw what happened during COVID. Trying to say something stupid to us, so we verbally put them in their place, and they're like, okay, we're going to turn our ships around. Is bringing a lot of the basic things that you guys use in Tylenol and stuff like that. Once again, even though we can go in our backyard and get the main ingredients for Tylenol, but we don't all know how to produce it and stuff like that. And again, that's where part of the mineral deal comes from, and that'll also bring security to his country. It's going to make people like Russia, they're actually going to have to think, are we going to attack this country that has U.S. state assets in it?
Well, I'd like to hit something even more than what you brought up, is that the reason why they want to invest in all Americans, and then now we can get really real, is because they would rather invest overseas. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware. It's the 70s. That's when they started opening up the immigration policy for the United States and bring over 1 million people a year from around the world. Now, the reason why they did that was to really negate the claim of people who were historically oppressed or enslaved for their claims, because they brought in people who are from Africa and some other places, and they were successful, but they had a culture, or not one that was devastated, like you see with Native Americans. So they brought other culture intact. And if you have a culture in America and are unified amongst a group, you will become prosperous in America. That's how America. It's almost like legal gangsters. As long as you do it the legal way, you can rob, steal, and pillage. But if you do it the other way because you don't have anything, you're going to go to jail. Your family will be destroyed. Now we got to go deeper.
I gotta ask you something, Scorpion. When Biden became president, they had if I remember correctly, and if I'm incorrect, let me know. The economic trade thing was still in its jeopardy. Nobody ever addressed it in the 4 years to resolve it. So we still got this problem. Is that correct?
Well, Trump left him in a very good situation, and he decided basically because of COVID, which was the rules that were put into COVID were false. They were fake. Having been an occupational safety person and been a former chemical warfare person and talking to the people who were part of the military medical intelligence community, what they did to us was wrong. There was no, basically the people who had pre-existing conditions were the ones that were at risk. Everyone else could have walked around, because that's the nature of developing a biological weapon. Until you can perfect it, it only hits a certain target. And so then with this Build Back Better with trillions of dollars, that's what caused the inflation. it was an opportunity for those who were socialists, because the liberals have always been socialists, or the left wing of the Democratic Party, almost the verge of being communist. Even back to the 30s and 40s, they've had a leaning towards China and towards Russia and towards communism, and definitely socialism, which is communism light. So he basically did those things. And if you look at his family, you look at Biden, he basically pardoned everybody in his family except himself, which was silly. But because really, if they really wanted to, now they could call those people to come before Congress. They've already been pardoned, so they can't plead the fifth. They can't plead the fifth.
Well,
So they actually, he jeopardized them more so by giving them a pardon. But getting to the crest of what you're bringing forward is that America doesn't want to invest in certain people, and they kind of look like me and you and some others, because they have to have some people they point at and go. I mean, that's why we look at slavery. It was so key for certain populations, especially in the South, because even if you were poor and you were a majority population, you weren't a slave. Now you are. Well, now it still holds that the people who were historically in bondage, outside of maybe 20, 30, 40% have gotten out, there's a majority population of us who have been here historically that are still impoverished. And why would you invest overseas as opposed to home? Because you choose to do that.
Right.
You make a choice that I don't want to invest in these people because I still have animus towards them. I still don't like them because my grandfather, because remember, now you're 67, right? My mother, she would
I'm
be
69.
my mother would be 80, and my mother walked the line. And when she was protesting in the 60s, she was pregnant with me in the 65. And just like those people have still, and you can experience some of it, experience what we call in some areas the American apartheid system. There's still I'm down here in North Carolina. There's still people walking around with Confederate flags that don't know the war is over, because for them it is not over. So they
No,
would rather invest
yeah.
in other people as opposed to us, or opposed to people who've been historically oppressed.
And I mean, I honestly think it's silly that I even have to explain to some people, like, I mean, I love, well, definitely food, but I got good friends from different countries in Africa, good friends, annoying, what's the name? What do you call himself on here? Teddy. He's Jamaican, but it annoys me that I have to explain to people sometimes, like, their culture is not my culture. Black American culture is its own culture. There's been a lot done to us that keeps us divided and harder for us to come together, like the Indians do, like different African cultures do. Indians from India, not Native Americans, but even some Native Americans. There's been a lot done to us, a lot to our history that we need to get past. But right now, it's not looking like
Listen,
it's happening anytime
it's
soon.
so bad here in Chicago. I used to go around and ask people of another culture, of the Caucasian culture, what did they think the American dream was? It blew my mind when they would give me this answer, and it is really gonna crack y'all up. You know what they told me? Be all that you can be. I said, no, that's the Army. That's the slogan for the Army. Okay, remember that song? Be all that you can be.
And they
Join the
reinstating
Army.
it too. They reinstating it.
And these were 20-year-old kids and in college that they did not have an idea of the concept of the American dream at that time, which was to buy real estate, get an education, the intrinsic things. Okay. And I was like, Lord have mercy. I saw it when I was in my 30s. And this is what they thought here in Chicago was the foundation. I was like, okay, whatever. So, but you're right. I did march with King. When King came to Chicago, we was running to see him. We've been, I think it took one person that really inspired us in our age group. And it was a singer that said, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I mean, that took us we went to the stratosphere of heaven. But see, we had learned, and I was raised in a Catholic society. So I was already raised that I was black and I had to get back. And I was supposed to sit there and wait on a miracle. And I sat there in Catholicism waiting on a miracle, and then no miracles come. So when James Brown came out with that, we started taking what was ours from here. Okay, we started having a stronger effect and marching. And I never regret doing that because we still do it to this day. Except we play behind scenes now. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to illuminate yourself because these people are treacherous. You don't know if they're coming for you. That's how they are. You put yourself under the microscope with this mouth, it may be my next term. You see? So
Well, that's
I
why I look
watch
at
it from a
what the
distance.
Democratic Party had done when Trump was speaking at the presidential conversation he had on Tuesday. I was in D.C. and it was hectic to get out across. I went over to Phil Belvoir to stay the night. It was deep, and with the protests and all of that stuff and the cops everywhere. See, the issue becomes the Democratic Party. You have to believe in something. You can't believe in all the extremes that are you're being almost anti Republican or anti what is now establishment. But that's been a Democratic Party since they became after the Confederacy. And that's why I've never really understood why a lot of people go with the Democratic Party up until the 60s and 70s when they said this big switch happened, which didn't. Everybody was the Democrats were the Dixiecrats. And and really there's no one who really wanted black people around, and then importation of people from around the world made us almost look even worse, because if they're doing well from Jamaica and from Nigeria and from Cameroon, who I've ran to a couple of guys up in DC, they're all
Mhm.
doing well. How come you guys can't? There must be something wrong with you, as opposed to it's something wrong with us. No, it's that you refuse to invest in us. You would rather invest in them. and,
Right.
and
And
you
see,
know
we can't stay on this same algorithm of the Democrat. And that's why I'm saying if we just strip the tags, we need to inject some new thinking. So I'm looking at the whole collective group of all these people and see what they can come up with. I hope, I really do, that it's for the better. I don't think we're ever going to get to a perfect society. And you know that. You know that.
as long
So,
as you got
but
people.
we can't. Right, but we can work it, and each of us individually as our best. You work it from your base. I'm working it still from my base because I stretch from Hong Kong to the Philippines. I'm worldwide, okay? And I sit on a council. Actually, I sit on a council with Bill Gates, with professors and doctors and stuff like that. So I do give out advice, on a daily basis, but I'd give it for free. I don't take money for it because I'm okay as far as my own financial. I did something right with that. So I think that I'm very thankful to have had this dialogue with you, Scorpion, because I recognize just by looking at you and talking to you that you're an evolved thinker. You're
Well,
smart
I'm in the middle of
and
my
you have good
doctorate
insight.
program, and I'm doing my doctorate's in statecraft and national security, and so I'm
Right.
studying what's happening with Trump with his last. Actually, do you know in his last administration, he's been the only
Mm-hmm.
president to give a guaranteed payment to historically black university colleges and universities,
I pointed that out.
Mm-hmm.
and black was it opportunity zones. No other president. I mean, we're talking about Obama, who really did too much for the African American community, or Bill Clinton a little bit more so. But it's like if they're not helping you, it's like why are you voting for people who say, "Yeah, we're gonna do something for you, get you animated." What did Biden say? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And this is from somebody who actually sat down with separatists in the 70s and 80s
Mhm.
and worked out deals with them. Why am I going to listen to him? An old white guy who will tell me that if I don't vote for him, I ain't black. How presumptuous and arrogant must that be?
Well, you know what's funny about that is Warlord and I had a conversation on a live, or we personally had that conversation. I think we had it on a live, Warlord. Remember when I said that each of us in paying it forward have the responsibility to just extend that hand. So what I conceptualize that to be is that if Warlord had some subject matter, and let's say he stalled, well, I'm gonna help my brother go forward and know that I played a part in that, but I ain't gotta charge him to do that because that's not what it's about. At my age, the self gratification I get by extending my hand to help is reward enough for me. Other people, that's their platform. That's not my business, you see?
Well,
But
You remind me of my mother who
I'm
would
glad
say,
to,
"Reach one and reach one and teach one." So you reach one and
Right.
you teach him so that guess what? He ain't got to step in the same pile of poop that I stepped in. He can avoid that and he can go a little bit higher than I've gone.
Right.
Right. But here's the thing. When you deal with evolved thinkers, we're good listeners, and we more so calculate our moves, because I'm the same way. I'll take in the consensus and I'll hear what you say, and I'll get off here and say, now wait a minute, he said this and I said that, and then I'll start thinking about what was good for me. I store like a computer just by listening. Okay. And then I don't care who I get it from. If it makes sense, I'm gonna move on it. I'm gonna move on it. But I definitely feel one thing. If it ain't making sense, then it's got to be negative. And see, ain't nothing but in negative but negative space. So I'm not going to sit in that space because it stalls me. It's in my way.
Well, see,
You see, that's how
I was a military officer and I was embedded with some people overseas. And you hear really people who say things that I would classify as idiotic, but it's a cultural bias because that's how they do business. So what I do, I listen and then I try to, what you're saying, how can I reach them if they're thinking this way to try to get them to come to not necessarily our way of thinking, but a thinking that will be long-term beneficial for them, not for me.
Right. To see it wider and see it bigger is what you're saying. Don't see it tunnel. Take it out and see where it goes. I know exactly where you're coming from. Like I said, I'm not staying up here to try to monopolize the conversation. I really enjoyed you all, and I hope you enjoyed talking to me. At least you know that I'm a sister that did my business. I wore my crown. I done handled it.
Well, and the
I
thing is,
made it.
if we can get more people to sit back and go, you know what, if we can sit back and put down where we're from, regionally lined up, and say, how can we move? And that's what I fault the Democratic Party, because you find 80 to 90% of all African Americans are within the party. Is that okay? If I'm joining a team and I'm getting no benefit, why am I on that team? Yeah, you can rah and we can all this stuff, but how's that putting money on, putting money in my pocket and food on my table? So if it's not, I may feel good, but I'm still hungry like I was yesterday. So where can I go so that I can make sure I don't have to be hungry tomorrow? And I think the Democrat Party likes to keep these people who have historically been oppressed, always worried about oppression coming back to get us to vote their way. And we got to break that cycle so that, again, like you say, you can be innovative and critical thinkers to decide what's best for us.
Right. So you know that it comes down to one thing, and I hope you feel the same way too. It's time for us as individuals to create, just like they had the Trilateral Commission, all these other commissions. It's time for groupthink. But it's time for groupthink in the think tank, where we come to the table, but we come with humility to learn, to extend, to stretch out from each other mentally in a mindset. Because see, if you keep the mindset strong, it's amazing the things that you can do in your own power when you reach.
All right, Warlord,
Okay?
what you think about all this from hearing all this gray hair people talking this talk?
I ain't no gray hair. What are you talking about?
I do. I got it everywhere. I got. Guess what? I live long enough to.
Gray hair to you? I'm a redhead. I'm a brown.
Well, for me, I got gray hair, and guess what? And I've earned every one because I lived long enough to have it. So, Warlord, what do you think about all this good stuff you've heard?
I did too. I just died, man. I got a sense of humor.
Well, I mean, there's one part I disagree with both of y'all on, when y'all said that, and I have the solution, to be honest with you.
Send it.
When you guys said the country will never be perfect. It can be perfect. I disagree with both y'all on that. Whenever all of y'all, whenever you guys decide to make me,
it doesn't exist. There is
it
no
will. Well,
society.
it can. All you guys got to do
Let's
is
go back to Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So if it was to be perfect, he would have made it all a perfect society. He gave man the right to choose. He gave man that right to choose wisely or choose wrong. Everything has a polar opposite.
That's where it is. That's where it is right there. That's what. No. It's not perfect. No, I'm saying it can be, but by getting rid of the choice. All y'all got to do is just make me the dictator of the country, and I can
I'm
make
not
the person.
dictator. We need to make you the grand poobah.
There you go.
Yeah, we're
All y'all
gonna
got to
make you
do is
Pistol King. You're gonna be Pistol King.
I will take away everyone's
I'm
choice.
still listening, but I got to go get my charger for my laptop. Hold on. Keep going.
That's
But no,
hilarious. Make you
on a serious note, no, I mean, definitely, I agree. I agree with a lot of what both of y'all said, and both of y'all have lived experiences that I haven't. Just like I've lived a few that y'all haven't. Y'all probably lived a lot more that I haven't. And all in all, to me, it's a simple answer. It's a simple answer, but not a easy task as far as if we can stop being divided. First, we start with our
true.
culture, then we go for the
Yeah.
country. Then the entire country. It's like um, my two bestest friends from the Marine Corps is Scorpion's son, with which is black, and my other best friend Bush. He's white. On the outside,
Mhm.
if you see him from the outside, he'll seem like the most square white guy that you'll ever meet. But he has issues,
But
but in a
what
good
I'm
way.
trying to say is that you're the future. You're
Right.
two. We're collaborating with you from the times that we had or our experiences, because there's always going to be a passing of the baton and paying it
Hmm.
forward. When you're paying it forward, we are passing the experiences no more than they were passed down to us from slavery coming forward, and this is the wise stuff that we learn, and these are the things and the traditions and the values and the moralities that stick with us. So therefore, we bring them to the table, and then we pass them on to your culture, because you're in your 30s. You all are the next culture to be, and we hope, because then we'll be the olden folks, so we hope that you all will guide us. This is what people that handle their business responsibly as kings and queens do. It ain't living in Buckingham Palace. It's a mindset in your mind to know that we are all interconnected to each other. So, what is the responsibility? To help each other move forward. And if not, we're stalled. And that's just dumb to me. I
No,
don't want
there's
to
no
be
just sit there and
stalled.
complain. Right, right. No. So with me, I've always been like this. Even before the military, I've always been. I've had people fuss at me. Hey, we're all upset, hysterical, crying because this is going on right now. Why aren't you upset? Because at least one of us needs to have a straight mind to get us past this. I've always been like that. That's always been me. And people are like, oh, well, you don't have emotions. I got emotions. I'm just I'm gonna
What
go cry in
branch
the
of the
corner
military
later
were
on,
you in?
going past this. I'm sorry, say that again.
What branch were you in?
The Marine Corps.
Okay. My brother was a sergeant in the Air Force and my sister was in the Army. Which one were you in, Scorpion?
I started off in the Navy, switched over to the Army, and did 25 years. 25 years in the Army, and I did a couple of years in the Navy. So I did about 27 years, 10 months, and 15 days, and I wasn't counting. But I've had a good time. I've been a lot of places and seen a lot of things, and realized that it's the people who don't understand their history and the game they're in. As my mother or my grandfather said, don't be playing checkers when they're playing chess.
And you know what my mother taught me? She said, if you know how to
And then,
play chess, you know how to play it life. She said, because it ain't nothing but moves and counter moves.
There you
So I
go.
learned chess when
wake
I
me
was
up
a
first.
young kid, honey.
All right.
I learned how to play chess, but I'm retired Chicago police. So I'm 20
There you
years
go.
retired. My husband is 30, he's 30 years retired. My uncle was head of Cook County Jail. So we're law enforcement here, or we're medicine here. We're in medicine. So we we just use all our talents to keep us moving forward. Now I have 4 grandsons that I have to try to set some standard, some moral value. I'm not going to get 100% out of them, but I would rather know tomorrow that I did my best for them than to sit down on it and think that they can figure this all out. Because I know that they're not of age to figure this out. Because, see, it's complex to me at 69. So I know they're going to need that pull from me. So this is, again, like I was telling you, Warlord, it's a passing of the baton, not only to your age culture, but to my grandson who's 5, to my oldest grandson who's 20. You continue to instill, tell you, my daughter said, no, my husband said this to me. He said, I'm tired of talking to these kids because this, that we talk until we purple in the face. And I said, that's what it takes. You see, that's what it takes. Until you purple, till you bruised. But I'd rather be bruised knowing I gave my best than to fall short. Now, that's narcissistic of me, Scorpion, because see, my ego won't let me say I can't. It just doesn't compute that way.
I don't think
I
it's
have
narcissistic. I think it's realistic because my grandfather told me one thing that souls or spirits run in families. Now that may be true, that may not be true. But if I invest right in my family, if I were to come back here, I'm expecting that I'll be talking to Trump's descendants because I expect my folks to rise up to that level. And
Oh
and if
man, you
by
know what?
passing wisdom.
I hate to tell you because I seem to you like this normal got it all together sister, but I'm an open heart patient and just got out of triple bypass and I had 7 blocked arteries. When I woke up from that surgery, do you know I woke up singing Bob Marley and I didn't even know the redemption song, and Bob Marley was in my ER room. I was like, what the heck? I knew that had to mean God. You see, it was so far out there, and I'm up there singing all I ever had. Now I know I shot the share. I know them songs. I ain't never heard a redemption song. But I woke up from a surgery, a major surgery, singing Bob Marley. Now I love me some Bob Marley. Bob Marley was in that room. You see, it's how you read the information. I was good at, I was always good at getting it and saying, well, what is that? What does this mean? Now I started putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and it helped me to fully comprehend. So I know talking to you, you're no mistake. I gained from talking to you. It was a pleasure to talk to somebody. Do you know what it's like talking to these people from Chicago? They a trip. They a
I,
trip.
I truly I spent some time in Oakland when I was going to Berkeley, and you really talk to, and I got cousins that have been in and out the penitentiary and this and that don't understand that some of Bob Marley, that Buffalo Soldier, just the song, just understanding that you have an opportunity. The question is, are you going to let your circumstances cloud you from seeing what's true and what's important and what you can get out of this? I mean, both of my cousins, each of them have 15 kids from 3 or 4 different women. And it's like, how can you raise if you're not there to protect your children, then the world is not going to do it. And they're going to take advantage of your people. So you got to be
Yeah.
involved. You got to stay connected. Because if not, they're more than happy to see a single, whoever you are, by yourself, because then it stresses you more so. And then you can't give your child or children the type of attention and affection that you need. It's like, it's like then it's like, see, like I look at Warlord, he's got his, and he's making sure he's ever present. That's what they need. Imagine, if I'd have then, when I got my divorce back in the day, if I was just like my typical person from my neighborhood, just had kids and just walked away and just started some new kids and I look back, where would my young warrior be? He probably would have been in the hood, next in and out of the joint himself, tatted up, because I didn't take the time to invest. I mean, tats good. I got mine, but but that prison tats, you can't get rid of that. Now you get affiliated and you get validated. Next, you targeted for life. You can't vote. You can't go to college because So if you can keep them away from that,
Well,
then guess what they could be.
that's what we just had a discussion on that too, maybe 2 days ago, that when COVID hit, you had the school system saying that they couldn't go to school and that manufactured a group of kids that didn't want to go back to school. So thus that manufactured a new crime. This was a new crime culture. And this is why Chicago, I mean, we never had crime where you could go up on the Mag Mile and just bust down windows and stuff. I mean, these kids now that did not go back to school have become it's become a have not. You know, they don't care who they rob from. They before they wouldn't go in Caucasians neighborhoods and commit these crimes. Now crime has no proximity. It's wherever it's gonna show its ugly face at. And I mean, they done went out to Orland Park, which is an area that, you know, it's mostly 98% white. They done busted all into them cheap made auto dealers and just got the keys and drove the cars out, commit crimes, crashing them. I mean, this town is up for grabs now. You couldn't give me $1 million to go back to the police department. It just ain't gonna happen because it's too crazy. It's crazy here. It's a beast now. So the best thing is we become prisoners in our own home.
And that's the goal. See, and that's where America, if in fact we can get the president to do what he's trying to do, and then there's going to be a whole generation you're going to have to throw away. And the COVID, you know, I haven't been back to the gym since COVID, but I'm going to start going now. But just to think that
I've been lazy too.
you know, I got a gut, I got the booty do, my stomach still got more than my booty do, so I got to get rid of that. But you know, the thing is that, you know, how can we get these young people to see? And some of them we can't. It's like when we went to Afghanistan. Hey, if they were 10 years and older, there was no. You're not fixing that. You got to get them before 10, and typically 4, 5, and 6 before you can change the mentality of that culture.
Right.
And we left after 20 years and then went back to what it was before because they didn't want what we were offering because they had a certain culture that wouldn't accept that type of freedom. It just wouldn't happen. Where here it's the same kind of mindset. Why sit in the class when you're learning about people who don't even look like you, who actually own people like you? So for them, that's going to be hard.
I'm gonna change the direction. Did either of you all watch Mayor Johnson's
testimony before Congress?
Yes. Did you watch it? Did anybody watch it?
I did not.
If you didn't,
please inform us.
If you didn't, see if you can pull it up, because Johnson was with the school board here in Chicago. Mm-hmm. That's how his rise was. Johnson's votes were built on the Chicago's teachers union. You got to remember, we in Chicago, everything a union, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so when Johnson got in front of them and they really tried to whip it on him, as far as trying to, you know, they tried to bully him because they want ICE to be able to infiltrate. They sent all these immigrants here, which we wasn't for that. Okay, there was a lot of rebellion about them coming here, and they did commit some crimes here. They're the ones they got here. Okay, but Johnson said we a sanctuary city, and he felt that they were tearing it down. And now our funding from the government is in jeopardy. Mm-hmm. Because if they can't get ICE to come on here and send some of these people back, then our funding is going to be halted. But Johnson articulated very well, and I don't think they expected him as a brother to be that, you know, that fluid. And you could see where the panel got thrown for a loop. You know, they started getting irritated because his answers were so eloquent. So if you get a chance, watch that, and it'd be nice to have a live and come back on and we talk about that. I would like to know what you thought on it, Scorpion, because I don't really like Johnson, but I was impressed that he stood for what he knew against that panel, because he knew going in.
Let's go deep in it, even though we haven't seen it. So what was his defense for not cooperating with the federal authorities and removing illegal immigrants?
He said that his defense was that it has to go through its channels as far as our security measures for Chicago. Meaning, you know, what it looks like is our security measures would be what? The Chicago police, then we have the FBI here and whatever, the DEA, we've got all those different branches. But he would not give them a definitive answer, and it angered the panel. I mean, they just got, you know, like they did Zelensky, the panel got because they didn't expect him that he would be able to acquiesce like that. Okay. So he had them on the fence, and they said, well, just tell us, will you let ICE come in and get rid of these immigrants? It got to, you know, bantering. And he said, Johnson replied, when it goes through its proper channels, then, you know, our security will know what to do and how to act. It was eloquent. But he's saying that he's protecting these immigrants, but again, on the down low, there was a lot of cane raised because them immigrants got $340 million, and Johnson tried to turn around and raise our taxes, our real estate taxes, and he took a beating for that because we was like, oh hell no, you gonna give them almost 400 million and then tell us we gonna pay taxes? So they blocked that. But remember, he got rid of the school board president because he didn't vote for that loan. Well, he got the $830 million loan now. So we're paying the interest over 25 years of the loan before we even have to pay the loan. So they just keep on putting us in financial trouble.
Well, see, they're buying again. It's like my mother said, if you're buying your friend, you better never run out of money. And so now they're borrowing money. He doesn't have to pay that back. The people, and he probably will move when he gets done being mayor. And so that's the problem. They're going to get 800 million and put it into illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, and they wouldn't do it in the community that's been oppressed in Chicago for decades.
Okay. Sounds like another California in the making.
I got another one to ask y'all about. What about, was that the New York mayor that sold his soul for the ICE?
Well, I wouldn't say he sold his soul. I think
what kind of trouble was he in?
Well, they were under the Biden administration. They were trying to say that he did some illegal activity because he wasn't siding with their. It's like what you described about Mayor Johnson. Since he was going along with the Biden program, they were going to investigate him like they did with Trump. And that's why, you know, when Trump came in office, he said, this is bogus. And so that's kind of why he's like, you know what? I see the Democratic Party now for what it is. It's more of a organized crime syndicate, as opposed to, you know, you can steal all you want to, just don't look like it. You know, that's
true. That's true. And I agree with you 1,000% on that, because you know what? I always said it was this. The Republicans steal, but the Democrats steal too. And when the Republicans are in office, no matter what they steal, the Democrats are still going to benefit by it because these are all rich people. So, you know, they're not complaining that their taxes are still lower. They act like the Democrats always act like they're for the little people when, you know, I don't think anybody knew that Kamala Harris's husband, who's Jewish, was the one that did those voting machines.
He did,
he wants a contract.
Yep.
Huh?
I said, yep.
Okay. Yep. So, you know, while we was looking at that, now let's look at this. First of all, they're not going to have her be president, and her husband has the voting machines, and he's the Mr. or whatever his proper title would be as her husband in office. It wasn't going down. It was a long shot. And she got the nerve to be tight-lipped about it, like she's pissed off that she didn't make it. Kamala Harris needs to go sit down.
Well, the problem
you heard that from a woman.
With former Vice President Kamala Harris is that she got in because they said they were going to nominate an African American female. The thing is, she got there and she really didn't do anything of note. You know, and if you're going to be in that spot, it's like, you know, being in charge of a team in the Marine Corps or being in charge of a company in the Army. if you're not going to do right, they're going to relieve you, and you're not going to promote up. And it's like,
No, you
you
know
have to
what,
earn the
Scorpion,
right.
see it further, look into it deeper. She knew it was going to go down like this. She's the pawn in the game that they used. She's the front master puppet, and she said, okay, just tell me what I'm supposed to do. This girl's an AKA, okay? 47 in the head, okay? And that's a joke. I'm just saying, don't nothing go down if you didn't know. So she's got to know how to play it. You see what I'm saying? She knew. She knew it was a long shot. If Hillary couldn't make it, and Hillary is a distant cousin to Trump, okay? If she didn't make it, Kamala Harris wasn't never going to make it.
Plus, they gave her, what,
they thought,
$1.2 billion, and she wasted it in, what, 35, 40 days?
Yeah, I think the most any
Exactly.
candidate ever had.
Say again?
Yeah, I believe that was the most that any candidate has ever had for campaigning. Yeah,
And
that's
blew it and didn't get elected. And still owes money.
Exactly. And then they built that all around by showing her an at-home mom, and she did this and that and the other. And I used to watch that girl when she was attorney general. And I used to watch her arguments, were they effective? Was she, was she really progressive? Really believed in what she was doing. And she told me at that point. But when she got in the debate and just fell flat, I'm like, oh no, this is staged. You can see a stage. You telling me you went to school, you became an attorney, you argue some of the best cases, and you can't even do a debate? Come on now. I took logic and reasoning and speech too. She wasn't even speech 101. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't speech 101. She fell short. So no, I think that the Democrats.
Girl, I hear that you got YouTube on your TV. Turn it off.
Huh?
That was for my daughter.
I think they got weak in structure, Scorpion, like you said. I think that we have to inject something to go forward in some sort of way and fashion. But we can't go forward with all this stuff. And then what really got me is the people in the Democratic Party, after they get a little bit of notoriety, then they always want to go Hollywood. That just gets on my last nerves. Okay? Next thing you see him is at a P. Diddy party. Or you see him hanging out with Mary J. Blige or whoever else, and the next person. Or they going on Jimmy Kimmel Live. They always want to be this celebrity. To me, that's just nothing. Because, see, those people go to the bathroom like you and me. You and I shine on the platform that counts on this earth. Okay?
Well,
and I really feel like that.
Whatever the parties do, and that's why the founding or the framers, I don't call them founding fathers, because they wouldn't, at the time they established this, we had a different role in this society. But the framers did not want there to be a two-party system. You saw that was, and really they're basically, I read this one thing by a Native American. It was a poster, and it said, he was looking at an eagle. It says, whether you look at the left wing or the right wing, they're wings on the same bird. So if you look at the Republican, you look at different party, they may just call themselves this and that, but it's the same joker flying that
plane.
Not
that far apart.
No, they're not.
Say it again. They are not that. They're almost threaded, but they're not that far apart. Good night, Royal Jews. God bless. But you're absolutely right, and you're right. If we get away from these words, it's just ridiculous. It doesn't, it doesn't progressively move us forward. And sometimes it just doesn't even give us a place at the table, because we stick to the stereotypes, and it's the stereotypes that are stalling us. And that's what it is. I don't want somebody to see me. Matter of fact, you can look at me and say, okay, well, she's a person of color. No, I'm mixed blood. And I know I'm mixed blood. I'm 2 generations mixed blood. I'm a mutt. But I don't care what I am. I'm a thinker. I'm a doer. I'm a front runner. I don't lead from the back. That's what counts to me. And I believe in God. I know that I can get through all things through God. Because, see, he done proved it to me too many times.
Well, I think you're talking to
So
Warlord, who's definitely lived that reality for real. I
let
think
me tell you something.
he only got through it because of God.
It was Warlord who got me through my surgery. It was Warlord that told me to stay strong in what I was going through because I was flipping. I'm telling you,
Okay.
I had to hit the books. I had to look up atrial fibs. I had belching. And the next thing I had was a heart attack, heart disease, spinal, knee, and diabetes. I had 5 diagnoses on me with one visit. And I said, I did this. Come again? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So each time I would talk to Warlord and say, well, do you think this? And what do you think that? And he told me what he did to push through it. And this is why I was saying, just because I'm 69, I don't know it all. I can learn something from everybody. And I look at what is good information, what's good intel. And he'll tell you, that got me through. And I have thanked him for helping me get through and helping me have just that little bit more courage when I thought I would fall short. You see? Because see, it carried me. And I believe wholeheartedly where 2 or more gather, when I can't pray for myself, all I care about is somebody praying for me. They don't have to give me nothing. I can get the rest of that myself.
Well, young lady,
But
I appreciate your conversation because I'm getting ready to now break contact. I need to get back to my studies. Warlord, I'm going to make sure that the next time you're on, if I'm invited, I'll be there on time. I may have to give me ring a ding a ding, but I need to go ahead and now break contact. And but what I will tell you, young lady, is that you keep pushing the knowledge to your children and grandchildren because that's what's going to make the difference. If for some reason you were to come back, you want to make sure that your people sit down with the Donald Trump's people and y'all decide how to cut up America the way you want, so you can make the money and you can influence change the way you want to have change. And that's the goal. That's the goal that
well,
I'm trying to do.
I left her a big pot. So when I only have one daughter and she has the 4 kids, but I'm doing estate planning now. I said once I got out the hospital, I was going to do estate planning, but I'm in cardiac rehab now, where they got to see if this new connections in my heart is performing. Okay. They got to see what it will do. But and I'm going to say this before I go. This was too tripped out. Warlord, I went, Wednesday was the first day I started. The Scorpion, this tripped me out. They sent me downtown, and downtown is Streeterville, Northwestern. You've heard of all that, right?
Mhm.
We go into the room, we go through the glass doors, and do you know what was in the foyer before you went upstairs on the elevator? They had a convertible Aston Martin. I started singing James Bond. I said, what the hell? I'm going to get my heart checked, and I'm singing that he strikes like thunderbolt. I was like, this town is crazy with some of the stuff it does. You never expect to see, you thinking you looking at a Chrysler until you get to the back of that car. Well, on the side, you think it might be a Porsche. And then you get to the back and see Aston Martin. You like, oh, Lord, I have arrived here.
Well, you keep
Who would
smiling
have ever thought?
and walk your way through it. I think you could be here a lot longer than you are. And for those who are interested, Hallow is a great program that I listen to every night. I go to bed listening to Hallow. It's kind of Catholic, but that's okay. It has a lot of good Christian grounding. And with that, I'm saying good night. You guys have a good one. Make sure you keep smiling. Warlord, you know how to reach out to me. And peace out, and may
I
God
hope
be
to
with
see you
all.
on another show. And
Yes,
Oh
thank
yeah,
you,
yeah,
because I'm
definitely, definitely.
Oh, before
Anytime
you
you
go, I
want.
gotta ask you this, Scorpion. I really gotta ask you this because I am a
Ayla, turn
priestess.
that TV
So
down.
I
I can
want
hear
your opinion.
myself through the floor.
Let me ask him this real quick. First of all, you know that in Lent it's 40 days and 40 nights, right? It's biblically written, right?
Yep.
So how the heck this year we got to 46 days? You can't rewrite what's written.
Well, there's saying the
And I
word is that sometimes man changes the time, but you gotta stay on God's program and not necessarily man's program.
talked to a priest about that when I went for Ash Wednesday to get my ashes. And you
Mm-hmm.
know what he said? Stick to the 40 days and 40 nights.
Exactly, because guess what? Don't let if man will have you doing Charleston and backflips. You got to watch them. Just because, hey, like my mother said, just because they're crossing, don't make it a church. All right, you guys, peace out. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Night.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. He was really, that's one of your homies. He's a cool dude. He's
So one of my,
evolved.
my best friend's fathers, kind of like an uncle.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
He's like an uncle to you?
Yeah, yeah. He my buddy Andre, the one that's attorney, a attorney
Mm.
that's on here with me sometimes. That's his dad.
Well, you know what? I bet you all have some really good thought-provoking conversations because he's a very evolved person. You can only respect his knowledge. You know, he's got something to say and something to share. And that's like I said, if we listen, we don't have to agree with everything each other thinks, but we can gain by hearing what each other has to say. Because it may best very well be like I told him. If it had not been for you, I'm telling you, I changed that surgery. That surgery was supposed to be July 19th. I changed it to the 23rd because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I didn't want nobody cutting. That was my fourth or fifth surgery. I just didn't. I just did. I was just done. I just didn't want to do it.
I
And I know
understand.
what I did it for now. I did it for my family. They wanted me here, but
Right,
I was
right.
conflicted. I was really conflicted religiously, you know.
Now,
I came back home and I'm listening to them fussing and everything else, and I'm doing this. Oh, what did I come back home for? Okay. So I love that you keep that conversation alive, you know, and watch this stuff. I just hope again. I don't know. I've kind of got a big question mark on Marco Rubio. He has a tendency to sit on the sidelines, and I think he's sneaky.
mm,
He's the snake to me. You know who we didn't see there?
who?
What's that guy's name that came from Texas? He done grown a beard now. He's gotten
Oh,
fat too.
Cruz.
Yeah. I didn't see him sitting up with them guys. Where's Cruz at?
Mm. Well, I mean, I think he still has the same position. I because Rubio is Secretary of State now.
A Rubio Secretary of State?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Hmm.
Oh my God. Well, what is Graham?
Still Lindsey Graham. Just still him.
You know what? Graham to me just goes whichever way the wind blows on
I
any
agree with
given
that.
day.
I agree with that.
You know, Monday he'll be on Wednesday, and Wednesday he'll turn it into a Tuesday. Graham, but I gotta, you know what they said? They had this on. Do you ever watch what's that show with the comedian Bill Maher?
No.
And all right, they had somebody on there, and they were saying when you direct the narrative, you can control the outcomes. If you can't direct the narrative, the outcomes will be all over the place. It means it'll be scattered. And they said, don't make, his name was Al something Fares. He's I don't know if he's an activist, what he is, but he's from the Middle East or something. Maybe he's Indian, I don't know, but he's a very good speaker, and he really made really great sense. If you get a chance, watch it, because they repeated throughout this week. It was this past Friday's show. But he says that for us to watch that narratives are being spun, and that these narratives are used to control and dictate.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. That made sense to me. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So it made the flag go up to say, okay, well, I'm gonna watch from now on what these narratives are. I can only watch it politics for so long, because right now I think they're posturing. They don't have any, you know, it is the first 50 some odd days, but it's not etched in stone. And plus, I'm on Lent. I don't mix politics with my religion. not fluently. I'm not going to, if I'm watching that every day, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do as far as my practice.
I get what
And
you're
my
saying.
practice is, yeah, the practice of Lent, the purpose of it is to repent for being a sinner, for the things that I've done. So I've got to focus on that to stay close to God. And plus, I won't get out of this thing until next June. So I got to stay, I got to stay grounded and focused to get through this. And it's not easy. I've never seen this many machines, but I bet you have. I never even
At the
know there
time.
was a machine called rotation. Did you?
What's that?
This is some machine they put you on, but this sucker's fast. And it has you moving parts of your body that you don't normally, it's not your regular treadmill, bicycle. This is something more advanced,
Mm.
and they put these electrodes all on you, and you got a monitor on your side. You got to wear a side belt with it monitoring your rhythms and everything else. You got a physiologist standing next to you to make sure you're not at any detriment to yourself. But I woke up today feeling parts of my body that were I don't want to say strained, that were worked, that I hadn't worked before.
In a long time. Right. I believe
Right.
I seen a picture of what you're talking about. I think I've seen a picture of
Right.
it.
So that would come. Now I'm going to say this. I didn't discuss that with you, but that would come with rehab. I'm just
Mhm.
saying that I'm still in a learning module. Um, I cried because I was in a lot of pain. It took 4 opioids just to calm down the pain today.
Oh, wow.
But I also said, well, it was risky because I just came out of so much pain. I just can't do no more pain right now. But I gotta watch that because that could lower my heart rate. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten to a placid point where I understand that I'm going to have some suffering through this. You see,
Right.
it's still a rehab, no matter which way I look at it. It's still, it's showing me in the rehab how deficient my body is, how drained out it was from that surgery. So I just have to rest and I just try to take it easy and make sure I eat, and I just trying to, I'm just at my baby step. I don't think that I'm anywhere where, I went in there, I wore all bright colors to try to be cheerful, to give it that good old college try.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for the first day, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it every day. I didn't get through. They gave me 2 10-minute sessions, and look how painful that is for me. So tomorrow I got to try to shorten it maybe to a 5 minute or 7 minute. I got to build up to where I can do longer sessions. You see, I'm not
Yeah.
ready to come. If I come out hard like that, then I'm going to strain my body even worse. The last time I threw my knee out. So they don't want that for me. And I'm fortunate that they understand that, and they decided to do it progressively. But tomorrow I got to go in there and tell them I couldn't get through 10 minutes because I just sat down all day. I've been walking bent over. I've been having some trouble in mobility. So I got to let them know tomorrow when I see the doctor. But did you have to do that? I have to see a doctor when I start, and then I got to see the doctor when I'm finished. Did they make
No, I just had my physical therapist. Um, kind of a different experience. I didn't like it because she always had a pleasant smile on her face and a soft voice, but she was mean and strict at the same time. Me coming from the military, I was used to, if you're gonna be strict and or mean, don't do it with a nice pleasant voice and smile. I need you to sound the part. But it was good. She she pushed me to do what I was supposed to do. And for you, I would say, it's okay that you don't go all out every day, as long as you don't give up.
Yeah, I'm not going to give up. I'm not at that, but I'll call you before that and tell you, I'll let you know that I'm having, some issues, because when I reach out, then I need to hear something to say, hey, don't give up, because that's why I'm reaching out. I understand why I do it when I do it. I do understand I have to walk it and I have to get through it, but uh, I'm not going to tell you that it's easy to gut up in certain things at this age. And one of them is, I'm glad I'm in a controlled environment, because I've got all this equipment at home. I'm just not good with being a self starter. I'm too weak right now. I need a controlled environment to help me start up, and then I can transition, you know?
Right.
So who did your hair? Your little beard looks so cute. That looks so, look at that. You must be going out looking for some girls. Oh my goodness. You're gonna attract some girls. Your daughter gonna be mad at you.
Just
And
being a
your hair
daddy,
looks
that's
so
all.
cute.
Thank you.
Let's see is your braids long in the back? I like it. It looks
Kind
nice.
of. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I like
they're
it.
about down to my chest, I guess. You're messing up my
Are they long?
reputation. I'm supposed to be
Huh?
mean and grumpy. I said you're messing up my reputation. I'm supposed to be mean and grumpy all the time.
You're not supposed to be at all. There is no all the time. That word all means all. There is no 100%.
You're right.
I don't believe in it. I believe that God is all. And if I go through God, then I'm standing behind all. I think the rest of us, no, I don't even count, like I said, I still got stuff with me. And look at me, I'm 69 years old. Shoot. I'm 70, actually. I'll be 70 this year. So I might as well just go on and be 70. I'm going to sign off. I went to the boat. Now, I called the boat. I went to the casino last night
Mm-hmm.
and played some pennies. And I won 900 of them. So I brought it home. I didn't
Okay.
lose my money.
Right.
Yeah, I bought it home and said, but I went in there and this guy, oh Lord, this guy drove me up a wall. I saw him the last time, but then he was there again last night. And this guy had drank all these beers and was throwing bottles all over the floor and, just anything. And then he wanted you to watch his machine every time he would hit, if he would hit a bet, or, we were playing slots. But
Mm-hmm.
if he would make the bet, he had to run to the bathroom and pee. So he had everybody watching his machine while he went to go pee. I told him, no. I told him, I'm going to get away from you, because I came out to relax. I didn't come out to be
Right.
annoyed.
All right.
So it's good. We're looking, tomorrow we'll be waking up to snow and slush.
No,
So,
thank you.
yeah, and I got to make it downtown. It's not easy. I was glad that they told me that if I get there, I'm a standing 3:30, but they said if I'm late, that it's no problem as long as I get there before they close and they can get my session in. They understand the traffic and everything else. So I got the exact opposite. I have a guy, and he's a very understanding person. So he doesn't care what time I get there, but he does care that I do show up. So I was delighted with them, and they were delighted with me. And I'm just happy that came. What's the name? Still didn't call you, did he?
No.
He's not going to.
Didn't answer when I called, but I figured I'll give it a few
Huh?
days. I said he didn't answer when I called. I figured I'll give it a few days and try again.
Oh, you left a voicemail?
No, I usually don't. I should. I usually don't leave voicemails.
Oh, then he didn't recognize your number. He doesn't remember his memory, If you tell him it's you, and I'm a friend of Janice, and do it that way, then he'll, then he recognizes. I have to do that
Oh,
too.
okay.
But
Okay.
I did have a conversation with him and told him that, just like I told you, we discussed it, and I told him we all know what this is, but he has to understand that once he comes to that platform, he has to understand who controls it. So therefore, he has to understand how the game is played,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a game, no matter what. Just just know what the rules are, and then know how far you can bend them. Because isn't that what it's always been? Even the mob did that.
That's
We
true.
don't. We just want to make the money. We just want to know. Hey, paisan, I want to know how far I can stretch the rules. Okay, I want to stretch them from Italy to America. I gotta go. I'm getting sleepy. I'll
All
talk
right.
to you later.
You
Love
have a
you
good
much.
night.
You look lovely. You look sexy, my
Thank you.
brother. You got the girls is coming around. So take
Just
care, and I'll talk to you soon. I'll let you
All
know how
right.
I do. Okay. All right,
Okay.
honey. Bye bye.
Good night. Thank y'all for joining us. If you haven't liked, please like, put in your subscription, subscribe. Y'all have a good night. I'm going to bed. Well, yeah, take a shower, then go to bed. Good night, y'all.